Hey friends! I wanted to come on quickly and share with you some tips on how I save my sanity in making these project envelopes. The lighting and the shadows, just excuse that. This is just going to be a quick hints and tips as I have made several of these and have found some things work best for me that I wanted to share. Christine Sherman from Winding Rainbows makes amazing patterns. The first one that I did was this Ashley stitch case. The instructions are great. It does take a little bit of getting used to if you haven't made these before, but once you do one pattern, just like anything else, it's awesome. This was the first one. Actually, the first one I made was the compadre case. It was a small one. And by the way, besides the bindings, all of these are fat quarter friendly. So if you have some fat quarters hanging around that you want to use, it's much easier if you have a limited cutting area like I do to use the fat quarters. The only exception would be the bindings, and for that you would need some yardage. You could probably get away with a fat quarter for bindings with the compadre case. So the only thing I did not bring to the table was what I use for the felt. And actually I just use, I find Hobby Lobby's felt is great. You can also use flannel, but I really do like the felt better. And I'm gonna also share with you what I have found that does not work. So I want to show you first the different types. So this is the Ashley stitch case, and as you could tell, there's plenty of room for the pockets. You've got a pocket in there, a pocket here, a pocket here, a pocket here, and a vinyl pocket here. I like this one the best. I find this works best for me. And then of course you've got the felt. I just went to Hobby Lobby and picked a bunch of felt that I like the best. And then this one is the Jamie Stitch Case 2, which is this one. And I believe they all have an option for, if you don't want vinyl, you could do a fabric. I love the vinyl. I don't find that it's hard to work with at all. This one has snaps and a pocket right here, and a little felt piece for your needle. This I used flannel here, pocket, pocket, and then the zipper right there. This one is also the Jamie Stitch Case 2, and this one is where I ran into some problems. I measured, or actually I attached this little flap in the wrong place and had to fudge it and make my own little piece to make up the difference. So same idea. That's a Christmas one. And this one is this is the Ashley stitch case. So I really love this Ashley stitch case. This is what works best for me. And she has more than just the Ashley stitch case. She has more than just these three here. But But first I wanted to share with you, starting with the construction of these. I do use what Chris recommends in her patterns, the Soft and Stable by ByAnnie. I believe that's what she recommends. I have always used this and I love it. You can get this from any fabric store, including you could get it from Amazon. I like this that I purchased on Amazon, and also I purchased it from Missouri Star Quilt Company. It's a fusible interfacing, lightweight, and it's an iron-on, one-sided iron-on. What does not work for me, the pattern calls for a stiffer in some areas, especially if you're doing these with the flaps, and also here, I believe it calls for a stiffer interfacing. I have found that this works just fine for me. But if you did want something a little stiffer, fusible fleece is probably what you would like to try. I have not tried this yet. This is an Amazon product. It's a little thinner than fusible batting. I have tried fusible batting and it did not work well for me. This was too thick. So this is an example of what not to use in these projects, in my opinion. Also, with the construction, be careful of what you use as your closure. I got frayed ends when I used, I thought I would put this to use. But that didn't work well. The other thing that didn't work well was the satin ribbon, because it frays. So here's that satin ribbon. This is just ribbon from Hobby Lobby. This one worked well. This is kind of a twill. It does call for twill tape in the pattern. And this one works well also. Not much fraying with this either. The other fun construction component are these Kam Snaps. And so you'll want to have those on hand, different colors. Those are fun to coordinate with your fabrics. I love ByAnnie zippers because they're wide and they're nylon, and you can stitch right over them without breaking a needle. I don't need a zipper foot with these because this tape is pretty wide. And I always get a 30-inch zipper and I will have plenty. You don't usually need that much. I also use the ByAnnie Vinyl Premium Clear. This, in my experience, does not transfer to, you know, some people have the vinyl front bags and they're afraid of the pattern ink transferring. It doesn't happen with this. So I find this is great. This is 16 gauge. And the paper backing is much easier to work with than the tissue backing. But you will want to have some tissue of some sort. It does come in handy when you are sewing over the vinyl. You also want to have some pins and clips on hand. And then with the sewing, I just sew on this little Janome gem. It works awesome. I do use a 1/4 inch foot for piecing some of this construction together. I have an open toe foot on hand. I only use this for the binding, I believe. I didn't use, no, I'm sorry. I started out using the open toe foot, but have found that my best tip would be if you are sewing any layer together at all with this bag, use your walking foot. It really does make a neater, less frustrating job out of your sewing. So I highly recommend using your walking foot for most of your sewing on this bag. So I hope that was helpful, tips and tricks. But I do highly recommend these patterns. They're the only patterns I have tried, and I'm going to stick with them because it's been really enjoyable and fun. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day and happy sewing and happy stitching.